It's not good that you said that, or you need to do this differently because you're not being super clear and you could lead people astray. Being a musician, being an artist, being an independent one at that means that sometimes you have to do things that you don't know how to do. And community is the biggest unlock for artists because it can be the biggest tool. Community can be the biggest tool for your creativity to grow as an artist, to grow in what you're doing and what you're making. In fact, I wanted to highlight this. So there's a podcast called the Tim Ross Podcast. And in this podcast, Tim Ross is a preacher, pastor, personality guy. He dives in. I love his podcast. It's kind of jumped off in the past couple months. But in this podcast in particular, about 39 minutes in, they started talking about the value of community and the value of having just other people around you that can push you to do the thing that the Lord's called you to do. So I wanted to kind of show this to you all, introduce you to Tim if you haven't heard Tim Ross and you're watching this. I don't know how you know about me and not Tim Ross, but watch this podcast and I'm going to share some thoughts on this little section here.
I want to write, okay? And you meet with somebody who goes, I want to direct, okay? And then somebody else like, hey, I'm really good behind the camera.
Right.
And all together, right, you create this force.
Right.
But, obviously, my brother and I, we didn't have music videos.
Yeah.
And we weren't good. We didn't have sketches. We didn't have comedy.
Right.
And so somebody came in and kind of went, hey, guys, I think I've got an ingredient. We can cook. You got a pot, right? And you got a fire going. I've got...
So he's talking here about having other people come around him and say, hey, I've got this. This isn't Tim Ross, by the way. This is Shama for Reels, who makes like comedy content. But he's talking about this videographer that came in or musician that he came in and started doing collaborations with, and just the value of having other people come in that have different skill sets.
Some ingredients that I can bring. And so when he brought that, that it helped.
Yeah.
It changed our life. It changed my life.
Dude, that's all right. So, okay. Oh, man. Oh my God, my brain.
This is Tim Ross. Essentially, what Shama's kind of describing is this idea of operating in community with people, having them come and say, hey, I do this, you do that. Let's partner together to do things for the kingdom and for what the Lord's trying to do. And in doing so, we will continue to make cooler things, more things, and kind of help each other out.
All right, so now we're getting into the spark.
Yeah.
Like I'm always looking for like what sparks people. Like it's one thing to see the success you have on social media and what you're doing with comedy and sketches and stuff like that. It's another thing to know the spark that like turned it for you.
So now he's going to go in and kind of talk more about just learning all those different skills and stuff like that. But that brings me to another point is when you are doing life in community with others, not only can they bring value in the sense of like the things that they make kind of correspond with the things that you make, but also you begin to learn more yourself. Being a musician, being an artist, being an independent one at that means that sometimes you have to do things that you don't know how to do. And so you have to learn how to do them, and having people in your life and in your community that can teach you how to like dial in the exposure on your camera, like, figure out your live stream setup, figure out how to tune your guitar, even if you're just starting, like those people are valuable. And I think one point I want to drive home too is that you're valuable to them. People were designed to live in community. The Lord has designed us that way. Just like in Genesis 1, we see man was not meant to be alone. I think that applies to more than just the marriage context. I think we were not designed to be alone, to be in isolation, and that includes you as an artist. You were not designed to be alone. You are both needed and needy. You need people in your life to pour into you to make good things. And I think by doing that, you will grow in your skill and therefore grow in your character as well, because you'll have people calling you out saying, hey, that's not right. That's not good. It's not good that you said that, or you need to do this differently because you're not being super clear and you could lead people astray. Those people are good for you. And so my hope is that maybe this is just a little encouragement today that if you're not in a church, find one. If you don't have people around you that are also trying to make things for His glory, find them. Or maybe you're an artist that's operating in just a space that is very secular and no one's a believer. I think that can be dangerous too, because they're shooting after different things than you are. maybe that's a whole video in and of itself that we'll make another time. But you need to have people in your lives that are pushing you towards Christ, towards what he's doing in your life, and then worry about how he's going to make things through you and what you're making in this life. Hey, thanks for watching that clip. That clip is from what we are calling open sessions. If you don't get a chance to tune in live, I strongly encourage you to head over to our Patreon, where we put all of those live streams unedited, uncut, for you to enjoy, along with things like memos and meditations, which is devotional content, music that we're working on. You'll get songs before anyone else. You'll get discounts. You'll get a bunch of cool stuff, all going towards what we're trying to do, which is create to bring glory to the Creator. So thank you so much for your support. Again, head on over to Patreon to join the crew, and we'll see you next time.